second division to Article 26.4 is for commercial and mixed-use development. The Aggieville District standards are mostly unchanged, but we are adding some provisions that are called for in the Aggieville Community Vision, which was adopted in 2017. One of these standards allows for more prominence on buildings sitting at one of the gateway intersections that are marked on this map. They get a height bonus at the corner, so a special feature or an extra floor can be added if desired. The ACV plan also recognized that redevelopment in Aggieville is likely to be larger in scale than the older stock of buildings. So, to tame the visual scale, modulations in materials and in the facade kick in when a building is greater than 200 feet long. Other than those two additions, there are no other substantial changes to the standards that were adopted in 2017 and 2019. General commercial design standards apply to the business commercial, neighborhood commercial, and community commercial zoning districts. The intent of the standards is to add some visual appeal, to put buildings up to the street, and to make development more comprehensible and accessible to walkers and bikers. By and large, this is a codification of trends that we've been seeing over the last couple of decades. In modern retail development, the standalone big box store that's only accessible by car has been supplanted by the outbuilding model that you see illustrated here. The new standards require pedestrian systems linking storefronts and better sidewalk connections throughout the development, like here at Menards and here at West Loop, and architectural elements that enhance the appearance of the development and thereby the community as a whole. The mixed-use district is an entirely new concept for Manhattan. Most of the commercial zoning districts allow residential, so you could say that we already have mixed-use zoning. But this new zone is meant to be used for a more downtown kind of development that is currently not so easy to build unless you do it as a PUD. This new MU district has that flexibility built in. It requires some base ratios of land use mix, and the design standards cover layout of buildings and streets, building types, and minimum architectural standards. The MDC also includes 2 new commercial overlay districts. These districts and their design standards were actually developed many years ago in coordination with the county, but they were never adopted. One is the Gateway Corridor overlay along K-177, going from Deep Creek Road up to the Kansas River Bridge. And the other is the Eureka Valley overlay along K-18, from Ogden City Limits to Miller Parkway. These are largely the same as the general commercial design standards covered earlier, but for these there is no focus on pedestrian systems given the locations of these corridors. Instead, they have a visual focus. The whole point of them is to not have a series of blank boxes lining the highways. So you'll see the same sort of thing as that we see in the general standards. Facade articulation, minimum fenestration, and a range of permitted and prohibited materials. To conclude, the existing commercial design standards are mostly unchanged, and the new ones are largely building on trends that are already happening in commercial development. But you can't count on consistency. Some development does a better job at architecture, others at transportation layout, and still others at landscaping. So the goal with these standards is to set a minimum bar that all new development can readily meet.